Today we are going to look at the Monkey King. So this is the new Mythic Legions, Figura, Obscura. In the past they've done Santa Claus, they've done the Headless Horseman, and now they are bringing in another classic mythological creature, which is the Monkey King. And just the box itself is just absolutely incredible. Everything about it is just pure art. So let's open them up. Similar to the others in this line, it has a fold out background that is part of the packaging. So pretty nice mountain landscape where the Monkey King lives. And you can see it's got the cool art on the front and the back if you want to use it for display purposes. And then if we just look at the figure itself, comes with just a ton of accessories, tons of extra faces. And man, look at that stare. The sculpt work on this, I think Mythic Legions might have outdone themselves, or Horsemen is the company, their Mythic Legions is a line, but probably the most detailed figure I've seen to date that they've put out into the world. So we're going to zoom in a little bit to this face so you can really appreciate some of just the detailing and the sculpting that went into this. Just the hair around the face, just the intricacies of all of the belts and armor and embellishments on there. They've got some soft good capes and some robes. It's not really a cape, it's more like a I don't know, like an ascot maybe. I'm not quite sure what's around his neck, but then he's got the bands along his waist. And then typical for the Mythic Legions figures, you have the armor on the shoulders that pops on. It does make the arm mobility a little bit limited. And then same thing with the legs. Some of the armor impedes it a little bit, but from a joint perspective, he can move them pretty well. So you've got to be careful with your posing on how you want to get them. But typically, to like any actual warrior or soldier in the armor, they're going to have that limited mobility. So it's not outlandish that they would be somewhat limited. All right, so let's take a closer look at some of the accessories that he came with. I think the first thing I'm most excited about is the different face sculpts. So if we take a look about what he has here, the face is unlike like a normal head that pops on and off. It's like just a peg that plugs into his face, so you can change him up. He's got painted ones, he's got action ones, and he's got the mad mouth. So he's growling, he's painted, he is ferocious, he is ready for battle. So just really amazing look, and just you can see the teeth on there. And he also comes with a nice pair of running shoes. So if he's gonna, go out on a hike up the mountain, he's gonna put these on in case he steps on a pine cone or so. No one really wants to get a thorn in your foot. So these, and then the point up at the top is just, that's the style in the mountains where the Monkey King lives. So, but in my opinion, if you have a pair of feet for your action figure that is a monkey paw versus a sneaker, you're gonna go with the monkey paw. So probably not gonna get too much use from the sneakers unless I'm taking the Monkey King for a walk with me. Now, taking a look at some of the other accessories, we've got a few different hand options to go with. So there is one that looks very similar to the ones that he comes with, and then a more open hand, which the open hand looks really cool. It's got the long, slender fingers. This one, I'm having a hard time seeing what the difference is. It could just be that one's open slightly more so we can hold the accessories slightly differently. Or if you want to give monkey paws to one of your knights or other soldiers that you have, then he comes with this delicious looking fruit, which I will try my best not to eat it. So I'm going to put it back here to reduce temptations because it is plastic. And then we got the other two faces that came in the back. So we've got a normal stern look, but it's the painted face. And the one that I'm holding is the one that he came with. So just looking how that looks, I like it. It's more softer than the painted look when he's in anger. But I think the original face that he came with is probably the one that I like the best, and that's going to be the one that I'm going to display him with. And then the last face he comes with is on a different head sculpt and is the unpainted or I'm not sure if it's painted or it might just be a baboon face. I'm not too sure about the lure of the Monkey King. I'll have to look into that. But there's just the normal gur mouth, and then the head on that comes with these feathers that you can put in, so it almost has like a headdress. So it looks like they just snap right in, or you have to put a little bit of force into them. They do not go in terribly easy. Oh, and that bent a little bit, so I am not going to play around with this right now, but it does make sense as to why they put this warning envelope in here, to not just do what I did and poke them in, to actually heat them up a little bit first. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to live dangerously, and I think I just paid the price for it. Luckily, from a head perspective, I'm not a huge fan of the feathers compared to the normal head look, so I'm not going to display it with that. So I'll probably still play around with it, maybe take some pictures of it, but for now I'm going to put that aside. Then he's got a nice bendy tail, and he's got a nice hole in his booty, and then it looks like the tail piece forms to the contours of his buttocks. So you just plop that right in, which sounds more awkward than it is. It's really just putting a tail figure on your toy, and it's bendy. And one of my little pet peeves for action figures, which is very small and minor, but when you have a bendy tail, there's got to be those dots, those holes. They put them on the side. I always like when they're on the bottom, so this way when you're posing them, you don't see them. So I'm gonna have to pose them from one side. So this will be his good side because it won't have those holes from that bendy tail. That's, like I said, minor pet peeve. From an accessory standpoint, he's got a cool little holster. I think he keeps hot dogs or nuts or spare change in there. He's got another little fruit accessory, which he could snack on with his open mouth or when he's hungry. So yeah, it's really good when you have your action figure and you're playing with him and he needs to eat. He's got another little holster for some more spare change. And then this, I think, is his coolest accessory. That's his weapon, his staff. And yeah, it looks like the hand that he comes with is probably a good holding hand for it. It's the standard holding hand for Mythic Legion style, which means if you have a sword or an axe or another accessory, he can hold that as well. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off his other holding hand and put out the more extended view, where he's got his fingers out a little bit. I think it looks really cool. So I want to put it to use. See if he can hold one of his fruits. Those look like that does not fit in there, so that's a floor fruit. And like the gourd looking thing also doesn't fit too well. Oh, but his cylinder wallet where he keeps his nuts and figs and various scrolls. So this is probably my display view that I'm going to go with. Like I said, the most detailed figured I think I've ever seen. Probably one of the coolest ones. So yeah, very big fan of this guy. Definitely recommend it. So he gets a monkey thumb up, and thanks for watching.